Let me ask you something honest. How many times this week did you promise yourself you'd finally get started? And how many times did you break that promise? If you're feeling called out right now, good. Because we need to talk about something most people are too uncomfortable to admit. There's a specific type of person walking around convinced they're destined for greatness, while simultaneously doing absolutely nothing to get there. And here's the thing that makes it worse. You're smart enough to know exactly what you're doing. You watch yourself sabotage your own life in real time, and you can't seem to stop it. Sound familiar? Then you're probably one of them. Ambitious on paper, paralyzed in practice. Bursting with potential, but allergic to action. But here's what nobody's telling you. This isn't a character flaw. This is neuroscience. And once you understand what's actually happening in your brain, you can finally break free. So if you're tired of being your own worst enemy, stick around. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to dissect exactly why you are the way you are, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Let's start with a typical day in your life. And I bet I can predict it pretty accurately. You open your eyes, already planning to be productive. This morning feels different somehow. You've got that spark. Today's going to be the day everything changes. You can feel it. Then your hand reaches for your phone. Just to check the time, you tell yourself. Maybe glance at a notification or two. 30 seconds later, you're deep in a scroll hole. 15 minutes pass. Then 30. Suddenly you realize you've been lying in bed watching strangers live their lives for over an hour while yours sits on pause. You finally drag yourself up, promising you'll dive into work after breakfast, after coffee, after you respond to a few messages, after you watch just one more video about productivity, because that counts as progress, right? The day evaporates. Evening arrives. You're horizontal again, but this time you're marinating in guilt instead of possibility. You feel like a fraud. All that potential, all those plans, and what do you have to show for it? Nothing. So you make promises to tomorrow you. Detailed plans. Fresh starts. You even set earlier alarms. And for a brief moment lying there in the dark, you actually believe it'll be different. But when morning comes, you already know how this story ends. Here's what's actually happening that nobody explains properly. Your brain isn't one unified thing making decisions. It's more like two completely different people locked in an eternal argument. And right now, one of them is absolutely dominating the conversation. Person one is your ambitious self. This is the part that dreams big, sets goals, and genuinely believes you're capable of extraordinary things. This voice shows up strongest when you're lying in bed at night or taking a shower, basically whenever there's no actual work required. Person two is your protective self. And this part of your brain has one job: keep you safe from anything uncomfortable. Effort, uncomfortable. Uncertainty, threatening. Potential failure, absolutely not allowed. Here's the kicker. Person two isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to save it. Your brain evolved in an environment where conserving energy and avoiding risks literally kept you alive. Taking unnecessary chances could get you killed. So when you think about working on your goals, your brain unconsciously calculates. This requires energy. This has uncertain outcomes. This could lead to failure and social rejection. And it activates the same warning system that would fire if you were facing a physical threat. Your brain then offers you an escape route. Hey, why don't you just scroll your phone for a bit? That's safe. That feels good. That gives you a little hit of dopamine right now. You take the easy option. Your brain rewards you. And you just taught it that avoiding your goals equals feeling better. This isn't weakness. This is your survival mechanism working exactly as designed, just in completely the wrong context. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I know I need discipline. I just don't have enough of it. Wrong. That's not how discipline works. Everyone treats motivation like it's some magical resource that successful people have more of. Like they wake up pumped and ready to conquer the world every single morning. That's complete nonsense. Successful people feel the same resistance you do. They just don't wait for permission from their feelings to take action. Discipline isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a skill you build through repetition. It's a muscle, and right now yours is completely atrophied because you never use it. Let me tell you what else you're dealing with. Perfectionism disguised as high standards. You've built this crystal clear vision of success in your mind. It's beautiful, detailed, perfect, and anything less than that vision feels like failure. So you wait. You wait for the perfect strategy, the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect conditions. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Perfect is a prison. It's your brain's most sophisticated excuse for never having to risk looking stupid. Because here's what perfectionism really protects you from: finding out that maybe you're not as special as you've convinced yourself you are. Maybe your ideas aren't revolutionary. Maybe you're actually just average. That possibility is terrifying. So you stay in fantasy land where your potential remains safely untested, where you can keep telling yourself, I could be successful if I really wanted to. I just haven't tried yet. But you know that's hollow, don't you? Let's get uncomfortably honest for a minute. Failure isn't what's stopping you. Inaction is what's stopping you. When you fail at something, at least you learn. You gather data. You figure out what doesn't work. Every person you admire has failed spectacularly and repeatedly. They just kept moving anyway. But when you do nothing, you learn nothing. You gain nothing. You become nothing. And that's the actual tragedy here. Not that you might try and fail, but that you might never try at all. So how do you actually break this cycle? Because understanding the problem is useless without a solution. First, accept this reality. You're never going to feel like doing it. Stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. That magical morning where you wake up energized and ready, it's not coming. You're going to have to act anyway, especially when you don't feel like it. Because every single time you take action despite the resistance, you're rewiring your neural pathways. You're teaching your brain that discomfort won't destroy you. Start absurdly small. I'm talking embarrassingly small. Don't try to transform your entire existence overnight. That's just your perfectionism sneaking back in. Pick one microscopic action. Work for 10 minutes. Write 3 sentences. Send 1 email. It should feel almost too easy to matter. Then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. You're not trying to be impressive. You're trying to be consistent. Because consistency compounds into habits, and habits compound into completely different lives. Here's something crucial most people miss entirely. Your environment is running the show. If your phone is within reach, your brain will reach for it. If your workspace is chaotic, your thoughts will be chaotic. If you're surrounded by distractions, you'll get distracted. This is basic cause and effect. This isn't about willpower. This is about intelligent design. People with exceptional discipline don't have superhuman self-control. They have superior systems. They've structured their lives so that the productive choice is the easiest choice. Turn your phone completely off during work hours. Not silent, off. Put it in a different room. Better yet, a different floor. Clean your workspace until it's almost uncomfortably bare. Close every browser tab that isn't essential. Block websites that derail you. Set a specific time for focused work and guard it like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. Make it harder to be distracted than to stay focused. Here's another thing you desperately need to hear. Stop consuming content about success and start creating your own. You're probably drowning in productivity videos, motivational podcasts, success articles. It feels productive. It feels like you're working on yourself, but you're not. You're just procrastinating in a more sophisticated way. You're letting your brain trick you into thinking that learning equals doing. You already know what to do. You don't need another strategy. You need to execute the strategies you already know. Close this video when it ends and do one single thing that moves you forward. Anything. Just move. And here's the final piece. Accept that your first attempts will be garbage. Your initial work will be embarrassing. That's completely normal and totally fine. Every master was once a disaster. Every breakthrough started as a mess. You're not trying to create something brilliant right now. You're just trying to create something. Period. Quality comes from repetition. Show up first. Excellence comes later. Listen, you're going to stumble. You're going to have days where you completely fall apart and revert to old patterns. That's part of the process, not evidence that you're broken. The difference between people who change and people who don't isn't that the successful ones never mess up. It's that they don't let one bad day become a bad week. They don't let one mistake become an excuse to abandon everything. They just keep coming back. And stop destroying yourself with guilt. Shame doesn't motivate, it paralyzes. Every night you spend hating yourself for wasting another day, you're actually making the problem worse. Instead, try treating yourself like someone you're trying to help. You messed up today? Okay, tomorrow's a new opportunity. You didn't do everything perfectly? Fine, do one thing right now. Here's what you need to remember. You're not lazy. Lazy is what you've been doing, not who you are. And there's a massive difference. Who you are is someone with dreams, with capability, with potential that's currently trapped behind bad habits. What you've been doing is avoiding discomfort because your brain hasn't learned yet that discomfort leads to growth. Now you understand the psychology. Understanding is step one, but understanding without action is just more sophisticated procrastination. So here's your assignment. Stop planning your future and start building it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start working with this imperfect one. Stop researching discipline and start practicing it. Take one tiny action today, then take another one tomorrow. That's it. That's the whole formula. Because here's the truth. You are capable of so much more than you've been showing yourself. But nobody's going to rescue you from your own patterns. You're the only one who can do this. You're not broken. You're not hopeless. You're just stuck. And stuck can become unstuck through small, repeated choices that compound over time. It won't be easy. It won't be comfortable. But on the other side of this resistance is the version of yourself you've always imagined becoming. The version that doesn't just dream, the version that does. That person is waiting for you. Go meet them. If this video helped you see yourself more clearly, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment telling me which part hit hardest. I read every single one. Now stop watching and go take one small action. Right now. I'll see you in the next video.